Good morning, lovers. Anthea here. It's just on my morning walk, and I decided to stop and do this little live for you. Check this out. I'm on Princess Pier in Port Melbourne. This is one of my favorite places to come and to contemplate and to think and to heal and to reflect. And so this morning I was listening to the song by Tom Green, A Little Bit of Love. And hey Christina. And you know, if you've watched the film clip, if you haven't watched the film clip for The Little Bit of Love, and this is just my interpretation of this song, I'm not saying that this is what it's about, but this is just my interpretation of it. He's singing about, he's trying to find someone. Hey Joe. And he's singing about looking for someone because he needs a little bit of love, right? But in the film clip, he's with a child, and I really think that he's singing about his inner child and how he's trying to heal his inner child so that he can find the adult love that he so desperately wants, that he desires, right? And he's looking for his love. He's looking for his love that he obviously had a relationship with, and they broke up, and she's moved or he's moved or whoever it is, right? But in the film clip, he has his inner child there with him, right? And so I wanted to do this live to talk about the importance of healing your inner child and how it helps you heal your romantic relationships. Because I truly believe, and I've spent the last 5 years doing this deep, profound work within myself and with other people on inner child healing. Everything that holds us back in our adult life, especially in our romantic relationships, is directly linked to some kind of childhood belief that we created from our upbringing. So, and you've probably heard me talk about this a lot, between the ages of 0 and 6, we create our belief systems, and they're based on the things we hear adults say, the things we see adults do, and our own little understanding and interpretation of those things. And if we weren't modeled healthy relationships from our parents, which, you know, this isn't about blaming anyone, this is just about understanding who we are, right? If we weren't modeled healthy relationships by our parents, because they weren't probably modeled healthy relationships by their parents, then we don't understand what it means to truly show up as an adult in our healthy relationships. Like, we can go in and do the inner work and understand ourselves better so that we can explain who we are to our partners, and in hoping that they will meet us halfway and they'll explain who they are to us, and we will find a way. And there's people who do that, right? There's people out there who have these amazing relationships with their partners because they do the inner work on themselves, not because they were modeled healthy relationships by their parents. I think it's a really small percentage of people who were modeled healthy relationships by their parents, right? But there's a lot of people doing the inner work. So for those of you who are parents, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you who aren't parents, I'm sure you'll have some idea of what I'm talking about. But no one will love you unconditionally like your own child will, right? When they come into this world, they love you unconditionally. They need you. They want you. They want you close to them. They want you to hold them. They want you to tell them you love them. They want your validation. Kids love you. Your kids love you unconditionally, right? And even if you yell at them, and I know I've had moments where I become psycho mom, right? Where I reach my limits and I've become psycho mom, and then they still come back to me and they still love me. And I'm like, wow, I don't deserve you guys. Yeah, I don't deserve you. But they continue to love unconditionally. Yeah, and it's the same with our inner child. When we give to our inner child, when we go back and we heal our inner child and we bring them into the present moment so that we're not defragmented from our inner child anymore and all of those younger parts of us, and we bring them back into the present moment, our inner child will love us unconditionally, and that will help us have healthy, strong relationships in our adult life. But you can't really do that if you're hating a part of who you are, if there's a part of your younger self that is resenting you today. So I have a lot of people who say to me, yeah, but I was such an idiot back then. And when I say inner child, I mean any younger version of you, from yesterday back all the way to birth, to the womb, right? And they're beating up the 30-year-old version of them, and they're saying, yeah, but I ruined my relationship and they left and I've never had anyone love me the same since. And they're beating up that younger part of themselves. If that was another person that you were beating up, that person would hate you. If you treated your child the way you treat yourself, your child would start to hate you. It may take a long time, but over time your child would eventually start to hate you. So you really got to think about how you treat yourself and how you treat your inner child, right? So when you heal your inner child, they start to love you the way your own children loved you when they first came into the world. And that helps you tap into your childlike essence. And it helps you be more lighthearted and fun in your adult life. Okay, and then that plays out in all of your relationships, not just your relationships with romantic partners. So it's really important that you understand that your inner child and all of the younger versions of you who have pain, yeah, hey Michelle, hey Amy, hey Tony, all of the younger versions of you that have pain and that haven't healed yet, they're all waiting for you to heal them. And this is what it means to truly love all of who you are, right? You know the saying, you hear people say, no one's going to love you until you learn how to love yourself. Well, this is what this means. This means learning to love all of the parts of you, especially the parts of you that you feel made the wrong decision, that you feel should have known better, should have done better, And until you bring them all into this present moment, it's going to be really hard for you to live in the present moment, right? And I was saying to someone yesterday, stop time traveling into the future. Stop time traveling into the past and trying to understand what went wrong and trying to figure out how you're going to get everything that you want. And just stay here for a minute. Stay in the present moment for a minute, because this is where the magic is at. This is where you can discover who you really are and understand yourself and find self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is so important, right? You can't rely on anyone or anything to give you that self-fulfillment. And sure, you can meet someone amazing who's going to love you and adore you and accept you. But ultimately, if you're defragmented and there's parts of you time traveling and stuck in the past, you're never going to really be able to receive that love wholeheartedly. And that will create roadblocks in your relationships. It will create damage. You will struggle to feel fulfilled, even if they give you an abundance of love and affection. Yeah? And what you will struggle with ultimately is having a deep and intimate relationship. Yeah, that's what you will struggle with. So if you want to have deep and intimate relationships, you have to heal your inner child. And it doesn't take long. And the minute you start healing your inner child, which is one of the most profound things I've ever experienced, your whole reality starts to change, because you're no longer seeing life through the eyes of your wounds anymore. You're no longer seeing the past through the eyes of your wounds. You're no longer seeing people and your current reality through the eyes of your wounds. You're starting to see it through the eyes of the adult, through the eyes of the present moment, and that's really important. So I hope that this video has helped you in some way. I mean, I could spend hours talking about the power of healing your inner child and the belief systems. Like, see all these pillars? Let's just talk about these pillars for a second, right? Imagine that every one of these pillars is a belief that you created in your childhood. Yeah? And on top of all of these pillars, right? Look at those tall pillars over there. On top of these pillars, this used to be the pier. This used to be the pier, right? But it collapsed, right? It collapsed. So, well, it didn't collapse. It was going to collapse because the pillars started to break down, because they couldn't hold the platform anymore, right? So think of it like that. You've got all these pillars underneath you that you created, these beliefs you created in childhood that are no longer serving you, and you're still trying to stand on the same platform you were standing on when you were 5 years old. But it's not working anymore. And until you allow all of these pillars to collapse, all of these beliefs, until you understand what your beliefs are, you're going to be walking through this life unconsciously creating situations and events and traumas and heartbreaks that you know that you can't understand. So if you really want to understand what it is you're creating, you have to go back and understand what your belief systems are that you created as a child. And that's not hard to do with the right support, yeah? So, hey Anya, beautiful lady. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already, to join my group Healing Little You. There's a whole bunch of units in there, free resources that can help you begin to heal your inner child and understand why you are the way you are, why you attract certain relationships, why you choose certain partners, why you argue with certain people, right? Until you understand all of that, it's going to be really hard for you to create deep and intimate relationships. So that's Healing Little You. And then if you would like to know about how I can support you in a private coaching session to begin to heal your inner child, DM me. Drop a comment below. I'll send you some information. Just reach out. It's really profound work. It's really powerful. And I highly advise that you start to look within yourself for the answers, because there's no answers external to you. And it's interesting, I was listening to this podcast by Wayne Dyer, and he was talking about how he lost his keys inside of his house, and all the lights went out, so all the electricity went out, and so he couldn't actually find his keys, because they didn't have iPhones with torches back then, right? And so he couldn't find his keys. And he went outside and he saw that there was a man under a light post. It was nighttime, there was a man under a light post, and the man was looking for something. And so he started looking for his keys there. And the man started talking to him, and he goes, well, what are you looking for? And he goes, my keys. And he goes, well, where did you drop them? And he goes, inside the house. And he goes, well, why are you looking for them out here? And he goes, because this is where the light is. And the man was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, no, you're right, it doesn't make any sense, right? But the point of the story was that he was like, why are you trying to look for things outside of you when all of the answers are within you, right? That was the point of his story. That was the point that he was trying to make to his audience. Everything you seek is inside of you. Everything. All of the answers you seek. You know, when you have, let's say you break up with someone, and they just ghost you and they don't explain why they left, and you're like, yeah, but can we just have a conversation about that? Can you just explain something to me? Can you just, right? And it's like, it doesn't matter what that person says to you. Your intuition, your heart, all of the answers are inside of you. They're not external to you. Stop looking for everyone and everything and something to make you feel whole and complete. So anyway, I hope this video has helped. And if it has, drop me a comment below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your, what day is it? Monday morning with me. Sending you guys so much love. And yeah, I'll speak to you real soon.